But what if these stories were never just superstition? What if someone around you is already using you as their substitute? I'm Kim, and this is Home Channel.
Have you ever heard of a substitute? In Hong Kong folklore, some believe that when death, illness, or disaster is meant for one person, it may be shifted onto another. A careless sentence, a shadow in the mirror, a pile of ritual ashes on the ground. Tonight, I'll tell you 3 stories about the darkest taboo of all, the substitute. Have you ever heard of a substitute? In Hong Kong, people are very superstitious about fate. Some say if you offend the stars or run into something unclean, the only way to save yourself is to find a substitute, someone or something that takes your place. In traditional Chinese belief, the substitute has always been regarded as something sinister, a taboo that should never be spoken of lightly. Regardless of its form, the essence is the same, the terrifying logic of exchanging another's life for one's own fortune. For this reason, the taboos surrounding substitutes have been passed down since ancient times. First, never speak carelessly. There is an old saying, "Do not praise a coffin, or death will come calling." If you casually say you like a certain coffin, or describe your preferred funeral arrangements, the spirit world may take it as consent. You would then be marked as the one who must die in another's place. This is the danger of words made real. Second, never look directly at night, whether you are on a midnight bus, walking alone down a path, or glancing into a dark corner. If you catch a shadow that shouldn't exist, a figure in glass reflection between trees, or on an empty street, never stare and never cry out. It is said that once you acknowledge its presence, the spirit will recognize you as its next substitute. Third, never step on ashes. Many rituals leave behind ashes, from burnt offerings of paper money and effigies. If you trample on them or unknowingly bring them home, it is as if you have invited misfortune to follow you, risking becoming an unwilling replacement. This is the most subtle trap of all, silent, invisible, and deadly. Fourth, never crave borrowed fortune. Some believe that using a substitute can extend life or avert disaster. But tampering with destiny always carries a price. The records of the underworld cannot be rewritten at will. Those who seize another's life to prolong their own often bring calamity upon their descendants, cutting off their blessings forever. Thus, the matter of substitutes is no game. As the ancients said, fate has its order, it must not be shifted. To violate these taboos is to invite peril. At best, illness and misfortune. At worst, disaster from the heavens. The most chilling thought is this. You may think you are safe, yet it could be those closest to you who quietly take on the fate meant for you. A substitute is the cruelest exchange. And once the taboo is broken, you can never be certain who will be the next to take your place. Tonight, I'll tell you 3 stories. 1. The living substitute of Sai Kung. In the 1960s, in a village in Sai Kung, there was an old man, Lam. He was gravely ill, so weak that the doctor told his family to prepare for the worst. They even bought him a red lacquered coffin in advance and left it in the shed outside the house. One night, a neighbor, Uncle Law, stumbled past drunk. He saw the coffin and couldn't help but joke, "Wow, what a beautiful coffin. When I die, I want one just like it." His wife scolded him immediately. "Don't say such cursed things." But that same night, after he got home, Uncle Law suddenly collapsed, foaming at the mouth. He was rushed to hospital, but within a few days, he was dead. Lamb, on the other hand, started to recover as if he had been reborn. He lived another 20-odd years before passing away peacefully. The villagers whispered, "Once a coffin has been bought, someone must lie inside." Uncle Law said the words himself, and he went in Lamb's place. A living substitute when one person dies instead of another. 2. The ghost substitute on the night minibus. It is said that spirits who die unjustly cannot reincarnate unless they first find a living person to take their place. Otherwise, they'll never cross the bridge of no return. Many years ago, there was a chilling accident near Kowloon Tong. A late-night minibus, returning from the Fushan mortuary in Sha Tin to the city, lost control along Taihang Road and rolled down the slope. The driver and all passengers perished. Before the crash, the driver had told a friend, "Let me drop off these 6 passengers in the city, then I'll come join you for dinner." But at the scene, police counted the dead. Including the driver, there were only 6 bodies in total. So, who was that 6th passenger the driver mentioned? Ever since, drivers on that late-night route grew uneasy. Some claimed they would often glimpse a hazy figure in the back row when checking the rearview mirror. Yet, every time they turned around, the seat was empty. In the end, the company cancelled the route. And eerier still, on that same stretch of Taihang Road, several strange accidents followed in the years after. The locals said quietly, they weren't accidents. The restless spirit is still searching for a substitute. 3. The paper substitute in Sham Shui. In Guilin Street stood an old tenement building. A new tenant, Akin, worked as a food delivery rider. Recently, he kept complaining that when he lay in bed, it felt like someone was sitting at his feet. At night, his chest would tighten as though something pressed down on him. Classic sleep paralysis. Sometimes he even smelled burning joss paper in the corridor. Eventually, he couldn't take it anymore and decided to move out. But before he left, people noticed 2 large cardboard boxes stacked by the back stairwell. Written on them were the words, "Paper substitute figures." Beside them sat an incense burner and a rice urn. Some swore they saw a middle-aged woman at a nearby crossroads burning paper effigies, scattering rice across the road, chanting under her breath. She even warned passers-by not to interfere. Neighbors recognized her. It was the cleaning lady Akin had hired to tidy his flat. Strangely, every time they saw her afterwards, she seemed more radiant, younger, full of life. A few days after moving out, Akin was killed in a motorcycle accident on the Cheongsha One Road flyover. The police called it an accident, but the neighbors suspected otherwise. Had someone chosen him as a substitute? Later, another cleaner revealed that in the ashes left in the corridor, she had seen strands of hair, fingernails, and scraps of cloth mixed in. Those are the exact ingredients of a paper substitute ritual. Channeling misfortune into a paper figure, then transferring it onto an unsuspecting human. If anyone carelessly stepped on the ashes and brought them home, they could become the leg's replacement. living substitutes, ghost substitutes, paper substitutes. All three stories share one truth. Someone always takes the place of the one who was meant to suffer. Some dismiss it all as superstition. Sleep paralysis has medical explanations. Traffic accidents happen often. Perhaps it's nothing more than folklore. But if one day you notice yourself growing weaker and weaker, while your friend beside you grows healthier, more energetic, be careful. They might just be using you as their substitute.
I'm Kim. Please subscribe, like, and share. And stay with me. You will never face the dark unknown.